morning, everyone. I want to welcome you to Life Beyond the Clouds. And I'm really looking forward to this today. I actually have two sisters on here, and it's really an amazing journey with them. They've lost their father, and I've seen both of them. I like to tell people for a while I've been seeing them separate and together. And it's just really interesting the journey and the way the messages have come through and the way they both kind of connect differently, which is really interesting. So we think from heaven that it's always the same when we have, a father or a mother, but it'll be different for us. It's always according to how we want to receive messages. So I want to thank all of you for watching Life Beyond the Clouds, and please like and subscribe if you haven't, because this is really about all of you and helping you on this journey. So I really looking forward to two of you just kind of telling your story and how you connect. And of course, the messages are going to come through because your father loves you both so incredibly much. But Doreen, he did, before we even started talking today, I did write down on this paper, and he did say to tell you happy birthday because he knew that it was your birthday. I didn't know. And then you just said to me how you both, went out and celebrated last night. So I thank you both for getting up and doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and let you both, or whoever wants to start first, and just let me know, how he connects with both of you, because I think it's important for people to hear.
Well, I'll start because the
Wow.
way I ended up meeting you was through my girlfriend Cherie, who bought me a gift certificate to see you for my birthday 5 years ago. Believe it or not, it's been 5 years. Yeah. And so, well, when I walked in, you called me out and you said, "Ooh, you're skeptical, aren't you?" And I said, "Yeah, because I had had some bad experiences and everything." And of course, my dad came right through. But on the way to see you, because I had seen other people who were not anything like you. On the way there, I was in the car by myself and I said, "Dad, I know that you can connect with me. And if Renee is the real deal, I want you to tell me two things. I want you to tell me what was so amazing and beautiful, and I want to know if you sent that text." So I'm driving down the road talking to my dad in the car by myself and everything. And we get there, and not 15 minutes into it, you said, "Doreen, your dad wants you to know what was so amazing and beautiful was that his family and friends were in this beautiful place and they were waving and yelling his name. And he said he wanted to stay with you guys, but he crossed over to see his family and friends." Well, I got goosebumps all the way up my arms. Then you said, and he said, "Yes, I sent you the text." We got a text the day my dad passed away on my dad's phone, his cell phone, from my dad's cell phone. It went off, and my mother looked like she saw a ghost, and she held it up, and it said, "I'm sorry." And so you answered my two questions within 15 minutes of me being there. So I knew me and you were going to be best friends.
And when he said it's amazing, it's so beautiful, he was
Incoherent.
completely, you know, passing in hospice, and it was just like a sudden, like he hadn't talked in 24 hours or whatever,
He
and then he just did that, and so
Yeah, but we've gotten lots of different messages from them, and some of them have been funny. And the first time I came to see you, Colleen was not with me, and I was so excited to get out of your house and to call my sister and tell her everything. I ran a red light leaving your house, and so I always laugh about it. But ever since that first time, I brought her with me because, of course, I wanted to share everything with her, and then she wanted to come too because we both,
Yes.
I mean, we have different things happen. Like, I know my dad's always with me. I drive all the time, which, he tells me I drive too much and all that. And I guess I interact and communicate with him different than Colleen does, but we both pretty much get the same messages. And we always get the same message that my dad is sorry.
yeah, I was
Because,
gonna say that my mother's a little bit of a challenging person, always has been, and I think one of the reasons my dad stayed with her for a lot of years is because he knew she couldn't be on her own.
right.
And so now we have to take care of her. And some people will relate to this. She's a nice lady now, but that didn't know it. That she wasn't a great mother. I mean, she ain't gonna listen to this podcast, so I'm saying this. She just wasn't. She wasn't a great mother. She got married at 19, had me when she was, 9 months later, 11 months later. So, my dad always said she was like, we kind of grew up together.
Yeah.
And so now, after my dad passed, I realized she doesn't know how to do anything. Write a check,
Change a light bulb.
turn a computer on, anything. So she's gotten better because my dad passed away. It's coming up in October. It'll be 7 years. And so she's gotten a little better, and we moved her, to a place where she could be more independent in a condo. But every time we come to you, Renee, you always say your dad's been here waiting for you. And I think last time before we came,
Right.
I even talked to you before something.
I did.
Oh yeah,
I
Doreen
texted
did.
you and I said, you said, are you guys come? Because I had my grandkids, so I was running late. And you said, what time will you get there? And I said, why is my dad already there waiting for us? And you said, of course he is. I said, is he saying he's sorry? Because every time we come, he's standing there saying he's sorry.
And so that I'm sorry, Doreen, and I understand that is like, I am so sorry that you all have had to take care of your mother, and she's a trip.
I always just say, it's like when we come with a family, it's like I always just, and I probably explained it to you before. It's like you look at a tree, right? You look at a big, tall tree, and the base is solid, but then every branch is one's curvy, one's fatter, one's thinner, one looks, more sturdy than the other. And it's kind of like the soul. It's like our journey, right? We come in, to two people, right, that have us, but our journeys are still separate, but you're still so connected. So the way both of you receive messages, right? Your dad knows how he knows you so well, Doreen, and Colleen, he knows your energies because he loves you both so much. So he knows that for you, Doreen, you're going to understand, oh my God, that was dad. And Colleen, you'll say, oh my God, that was dad. And you can both call each other. It could be the same event that's happening. Like it could be an anniversary or like your birthday that just came, because he was singing in my ear. Like there's a song like he was singing to you,
Sweet Caroline.
but you'll still receive it the same way, but different. It's because and that's what's really, I love the way you both are explaining this, because I've never had two family members on like this before. And so what's so important is to understand how we're all so loved, but the way I'm going to see something is going to be different than my brother. But we're both going to still, my dad would still give us the message, but he knows, oh, Renee's going to receive it this way. I need to do this. So that's what he does with both of you. And he does, and his sorry is like, he understands, like he knows what you're going through, and he knows that it's not easy, but he knows that you both are such beautiful souls that you're going to do it in spite of it, right? Even if you don't want to do it, it's like you just hold your breath and dive in and say,
well, I always say, Dad, do you see this? Do you see this? And then one day you said, your dad said, yes, he sees it, Doreen, because it is challenging sometimes.
And
it
honestly,
is.
you said we're both beautiful people.
Yes.
Maybe not in that case. We do pick on her a lot.
We do.
But it's out of humor.
But that's how we've dealt with a lot of it, is humor. So,
yeah.
And I think he knows that. And do you understand? I always just think God looks at it like, it's like when you do it anyway, right? Somebody called it one time a mitzvah to me. I knew this older lady, right? And I said to her, what's a mitzvah? And she said, it's when you do something, even though you don't want to, but you do it anyway. It's a blessing from God. So it's just like times in life, like you could walk away and say, I'm not doing it. I've had so much hurt and pain. You're on your own, right? I don't think, but you do it anyway, because that's what I'm saying. You're beautiful souls. It's hard. It's easy to do something you love. It's not easy to do something that you don't want to, but you know it's the right thing and you do it anyway. I think those are the huge blessings that you get. And that's why your dad, I feel the energy, like literally behind both of you on the sofa. Like do you understand, wants to lean over with his arms on your shoulders. Like my girls are here.
Well, it's especially for me because her and I did not have a good relationship. So that's why I always say, do you see this? Do you see this? I'm doing it. But he knows I'm doing it for him too.
And he does.
I think it's neat how our other relatives have come forward, and just with one word you say, we know exactly who it is. Like my grandmother, you said jelly beans, and we knew that was her. And my uncle played the piano, and you said, I'm seeing fingers playing the piano.
Yeah,
but they've all
that's
come
why
through.
it was so funny, because I even had down fingers on my notes from earlier today. I wrote down fingers. Somebody had the same thing. Do you understand?
That tendon that you have on there, that tendon is that
It's
Doreen and my mother have both had like
sciatic.
recent terrible sciatic pain, and Anyway, so my mother was really suffering, and I don't even want to go into that story.
We bought my
Feel like
mom a
it means some
bracelet.
doctor visits for both of you. You know what I mean? That it's
Yeah,
going to mean some appointments, but but then I feel like too she's stubborn. Like she doesn't always want to follow. You know what I
yeah.
mean? What she's told she's supposed to do, and it's almost something with her walking too, or something even with a bed. I don't know if there's something about the way she gets. It's really interesting, like the way she either gets in or out of a bed, or something is putting strain. Do you understand? Like on a tendon, this is just what your dad. You can you know, I mean, you can ask her later, but it's like there's
Yeah.
just a strain. And I always feel like your mother's very interested to know if he comes through for her. Like anytime you
Oh,
come.
we
Well,
tease her
we
about
tease
it.
her because
We
Okay,
tell her he
I
can
te-
hear everything
I
you're
said he can
saying.
hear everything. She's like, everything? I said, everything.
okay, because is this is interesting. Was there anything about a certain cup? I don't know why I'm getting sidetracked. I don't know if there's like a certain mug or a coffee cup or something that connected you to your dad or someone or something that was made. You know how you ever give somebody one, like whether it was for a holiday or like something with their name on it, or for like Father's Day or a birthday or like Christmas, but I'm just being shown some sort of cup or a mug.
Well, when Roz, the woman, was getting dementia and she got sick, I went and I got her this pineapple thing, and you hit the bottom of it and it lit up and did. So that might be it. She thought it was really funny, but I thought it would keep her amused and entertained because sometimes she was sad. So I got this thing that would
Okay.
light up and do all these things.
And it's her way of saying to like I'm with you when you're doing this, like even now you're
Yeah,
still here, even now you're still here for me, right?
yeah,
Even now, like that she's not here, it's still you. Of course it would be you. That's what she's
yeah.
saying. Of course
Well,
it's
I started with them when I was 16, so I've been with them a long
you.
time. That's for sure.
And and is there anything about seeing a picture of her when she was young, or a picture of them when they were young?
Yeah,
That's that
I
wedding picture.
for their 70th, yeah,
60th.
no, it was their 70th wedding anniversary. I had a silver frame made and had their names engraved. And then I found this verse that said something to the effect of, "You're one of a kind, not many people make it to 70."
Oh,
And then I found their wedding picture and I put their wedding picture in it.
so that's
And
amazing.
they,
So that's what she's also showing me. She's just saying, this is what we look like now. This is who we
yeah,
are now. Think of us like
yeah,
this. So either you still come across it, or like you'll see it again packing up, or you've just
they
seen.
told me they want me to have it.
Yes, this is what
Yeah,
she's showing me. You'll
mhm,
have to send me a picture of that because she's very, do you understand, wants me
yeah,
to know, like, thank you. And this is who she is again. To
yeah,
me, it's these, I always say this, I say it over and over again. It's these little things to me that are so incredible
yeah.
because,
Well, like I said, I mean, the messages that we've, like you'll say one word and we know exactly who it is. And it's just funny how, like, I have a friend, Billy, who comes through every time I've been to you, every time I've been. And you said one time, he said, "It's Doreen's here. We're having a party," or whatever. But that's such his personality.
that's
But
it.
it's funny how different people just pop in and just one word, it's them. You know exactly who it is.
You just know because that's what they want to do. They want to show you because sometimes it's when it's like so many people that so they'll describe to me who they were, or they'll show me something. So
Mhm.
they'll say, "Oh my God, I know who that is." Like I don't even have to think about it, But this
Right.
is just what I love about both of you with your energies, right? That this is, and Colleen, are you getting ready to plan a trip somewhere?
I have several coming up. Yeah.
Okay, because it's almost like sometimes like a toss up between one of them. You know how you just say, did I want to go on this one? But no, I'm going to do this one now and I'm going to do this one later. It was either almost like the event of which one you're doing first or which one you're, you know what I mean? Like planning out the month. Well, I got to do this one now. And like either just booking some plane flights. It's like, I got to do this one first. So I'm going to switch instead of going there, I'm going here first.
Yeah. One's obligatory. My daughter's having surgery, and one I just booked for fun to go to Nashville for my birthday. Because you and I were talking about that. You said something about, and this better come true, Renee. You said I was going to meet somebody nice while I was
Dancing.
dancing with pink cowboy boots on. So I'm counting on
You know,
that.
So she's going to buy pink cowboy boots.
I'm counting on it.
but you know what though? You're going to. That's how it's going to happen. It's going to be when you're just having so much fun and you're not thinking. Those are the greatest times when
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
when we keep thinking stuff and it's like we get ourselves so exhausted, right? Like, I don't
Yeah.
care what it is, right? We'll just keep letting stuff run in our mind like that talk that goes, and it's when you just say, you know what, I don't care anymore. Or it just happens. It's when you're, when you have a job, you find one. When you need one, it's like, I can't
right.
find a job. And then all of a sudden you'll get one, right? You'll just find one and someone's like, oh, I have this job for you. And you're thinking, where were you 6 weeks ago? It's because you let your energy just kind of flow. It's just like that. It's like when you let it flow, and that's how it's going to happen for you.
Yeah,
Colleen, you
and that is so true, because if you just go out and you be yourself
yes,
and you have a drink
Yeah.
or two and you're just having fun, it's like a magnet.
Yeah.
You
yes.
don't even realize it.
No, because
You
your
know?
energy's higher. Do you understand? You're raising
Mhm.
your energy vibration.
Yeah,
When you're in this perpetual state of worry and you have your energy lower. So when you just say, I don't care, I'm having fun, your energy's already higher. Like last night, and you ladies go out and you're laughing and you're dancing, your energy, your vibration is so high because you're just having fun,
Yeah, we
right?
did. We had a really good time last night. It was.
Yes.
yeah,
So
it
this
was
is what
fun.
I was gonna call you. I should have. See.
And I was going to say, one thing that you've told us when we come to visit you is kind of the day before we come visit, maybe think about some things that,
Mhm.
you want to say to your dad, or what you're looking for responses for, or whatever. And so I'll just use the last time I came to see you and Doreen was late. So you and I had some one-on-one time. And there were like four things that I wanted to know. And now I can't remember what they all are, but you hit on every one of them. And then you hit on like three. So I was just waiting. And then I think the last one came in at the very end. But one of the things is, I'm in a position where in 2 years I will need to retire because I work for an elected official. And so when I came in, and that's been weighing on my mind because I'm high energy. I've worked since
Right.
I was 15 years old. And that one of the things when you came in, you're like, is there something, like, are you thinking about retirement? So,
I remember
I just think
when you said
that's
that,
amazing.
I said, you're going to retire, but you're not going to retire. You're going to retire.
Yeah.
But then I said, you're going to go back and do something else for people. Like you're going to love it. And it's almost going to be more than one. I feel like there's going to be like two people, like they reach out and you love it. It's like, I'm retired, but then I'm doing what I'm loving to do now, but it's not feel pressure. Like I'm
Yeah.
doing it.
No,
Right. You
crazy.
also said I was going to make more money than I make now, so I'm holding you to that too.
My favorite thing was when you said, "Is there something about your dad's ashes or something, Doreen, that you're doing?" And I said, "Yeah." And you were like, "What is it?" And I said, "Well, we didn't know what to do with my dad's ashes. He died suddenly. He fell and got bleeding on the brain, so it happened really quick. So we had his ashes and we put them in this nice urn and whatever it was,
Yeah.
urn. Um, and my mom took them to her house and we put them on her fireplace. And so they were on the fireplace, and we would get my dad to go places because I'd promise him M&Ms because my mom wouldn't let him have any candy. I would give him whatever he wanted, whatever.
He's dying.
Yeah, I
Just
said,
let him eat
just let
what
him
he
eat what he
wants.
wants. Shit, what are you gonna
Shit,
do?
lady. See how hard
So
she is?
anyhow, my mom has met a significant other. And so I would go to her house, and when I'd go there, my dad's ashes were pushed to the back of the fireplace. Walk over, put the ashes. Like, don't move my dad. Why put my dad's ashes back there? I didn't do it, but every time the guy would come over, my dad's ashes would be pushed to the back. So the one day I pulled them out and I put them. I said, "Stop moving them. As a matter of fact, forget it. I'm taking them home with me." But you hit on that because you said my dad thought it was funny because I kept moving the
Well,
ashes away.
you know what he said to me that was funny too, is he said he was afraid she was going to knock him over some point and vacuum him up.
Well, that's
I
what
told
we're going to do with her.
Well,
Oh,
we've
stop.
had instances where we didn't know what to do when people passed away.
Three.
Three. And so I told my mother, I said, "Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. My mother is a cleaning fanatic freak, okay?"
She's
I
better
said,
now.
"Mom, if you don't tell us where you want to be buried, put your ashes or whatever, I swear to you, I'm gonna take you to the dirtiest house I clean, dump you all over the floor, and suck you up in the vacuum."
Listen, look what I had written down before you even said that. Vacuum.
Oh, that's funny.
She said, "Well,
That's see,
she thought it was funny." I know.
but see,
She thinks it's funny, and I said, "No, Mom, I'm really going to do it." She tells all of her friends. I'm like, "No, you really have to tell us. We don't want to make up because we had to figure out what we did with my
No,
dad. We took him
my
everywhere."
my grandmother passed away. They were married for 67 years. My grandfather,
Was
for
so
whatever reason, bought like the cheapest thing to put the ashes in. I mean, a grocery bag would have been
yeah.
better. And Doreen and I went to pick up the ashes, which is a horrific experience, and you've never done it before. Although we were really hungry, so we took her ashes through the drive-through at Burger King. So I'm just saying.
We were going to take her to the bar and have a shot.
Yeah. So nobody knew what to do with it. My grandfather would like put her in the refrigerator.
Oh,
and then one day,
he tied her to
I'm
the
getting
pier.
to that. So we woke up one day and the ashes are not there, and she wanted to be sprinkled in the bay or whatever. So he took the box and he tied fishing weights to it and dropped it off the edge
like
of
a crab pot.
I mean, you think it sounds crazy, but he's devastated.
My grandfather was
just devastated. Yeah. So then, that was July, and then
he would go down to the pier and he'd pull it up.
Yeah, well, we took it off.
We
took it off.
But because first off, I pulled her up. He pulled her up one time, and I just started sobbing because all these little crabs are running and stuff. And I cut my finger really bad, and I was like, "Grandma, she's not a crab pot. You gotta let her go." So we took her out of the water, and we took her up to the garage. And then I went out to the garage, and her ashes were gone. And I said, "Where is Grandma?" And he put her in the refrigerator next to the salad we were having for dinner.
Oh my God, you can't make this up. Now, if somebody's talking about, and I feel like it's your dad when I say someone, they're talking about breakfast food. Either somebody used to like to make breakfast or something. Huh?
My grandfather. And
if you talking about waffles, I'm eating waffles.
If you didn't eat your whole dinner, my grandfather would put it in the eggs the next morning.
But they did make waffles
all the time.
Waffles, yeah.
Because I was actually writing down waffles and breakfast when you were talking, because I kept.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather's specialty that we all loved, and I'll have tried to eat it since, and it's never the same, as he would have waffles with his homemade cream chip beef.
Do you see how amazing that is that we're talking about him? And how
that sounds delicious.
And how his energy just came in though and wanted to know that he hears you, and he's showing you the waffles this is how they will validate. So because people a lot of times will say to me, "Can I ask them something right now? Can I ask you?" And they'll say something. So it just shows you how the energy is so connected, how we're talking about him and kidding around and you're saying stuff, but how he comes in.
It just shows you that they're around you all the time.
And that's what I really like people to know, is that it's not just for anyone, it's for everyone. Right? That we're all connected, that we all receive messages, no matter how we're receiving them differently. It's never about a comparison. It's another either or. And I always just say messages are for you to receive, not to convince everybody else to believe.
Well, one thing that you've said that I think is really interesting, and I've tried to pay attention to this, is that, we all say we get a gut feeling.
Yes.
Well, you've told us that is, that's a message. Seconds. That's a message coming in,
It is.
That so, and I'm a very analytical person, so I have to analyze everything. So I'm a firstborn analytical. What can I say? Yeah. And so that has made me pause and think a little bit. Like, okay, get that. Doreen's a lot more open to the messages. Mm-hmm. I realized the other day, and I don't want to start crying, that I probably have never processed the grief from losing Dad the way I should have, because my daughter was cleaning out her computer. She had to free up some space, and she called me, tears streaming down her face, video call. She found a video of my dad, and I'm going to make Doreen cry. It was my dad giving a toast for Doreen's 50th birthday, which was 10 years ago. And she's crying. I mean, my dad and my daughter loved each other. And she said, "Do you want to watch this video of Granddad?" And I said, "No." And my daughter was surprised that I can't do it. I can't watch that.
But see,
I can't watch that. And I told her, maybe when I come visit you in a few weeks, I'll watch it. But I said, I can't. I'm in the middle of a work day. If I watch that now, I'll lose it. So I just can't. So see, I know sometimes I'm like, I haven't grieved it, right? Like we
didn't. Both of us went into function mode. You know what I mean? We had to move.
Business
Both
mode.
of us did. But you helped me. And I told you that because now I'm going to get upset. You helped me learn that I could communicate and that he was everywhere and that I didn't have to, suppress these feelings, that he knew what I was feeling and that, he was there and I could talk to him. And I mean, I do it all the time. Like that's why I brought her with me because it helped me so much coming to you. And I love it because I come every 6 months.
I know. But you know what I want people to know too is, some people go to see mediums, psychics, card read, whatever it is that they do, and they'll go
Mm,
all the time. Like some people will go to me and then the following week they go somewhere else. And I always just say, what are you looking for?
yeah.
Is it that you're trying to find? Because it's within you. They're already connecting with you. And,
Mm,
and people think I'm terrible for my own business, what I do. But for me, I always say I'm as driven trying to help people to
yeah.
communicate themselves as the messages. Because when you understand, and yes, you need to come, people like me, because what it does is it reconnects you at time and it makes you
Right.
just, what I am receiving is real. So what it does is really
Mm,
validate what you're receiving.
right.
You're not everyone's going to do what I do for people every day all day long, but in your day you better, people have to understand that they are receiving this. And I think it's only
Mm,
fair to let people know that, to say no,
yeah.
I mean, because people think they're crazy, and I'll go, you're not. When you
No.
connect, it's a
Well,
whole
it's like you and I connected real
yeah,
quick.
yes.
And the other day, I was listening to your podcast as I'm driving to work. And in my mind, I'm thinking, wow, I should see if Renee wants me to be on her podcast. And
That
so I called Colleen and I said, you know, I might say something to Renee when we go about being on her podcast. What, an hour later, bloop, my phone comes and you said, hey, Doreen, would you like to be on my podcast? Remember, I called you. I was like, Renee, you're not going to believe this.
it was late on a Sunday evening, and
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just said, you put your sister, you said, wait a second, I got to get my sister on. You
yeah,
connected her in, and you
yeah.
said, tell her what you just said, and then you told me what you just said. See, this is what is so incredible about
Hmm.
this, right? About this is why I love talking about energy, and even now that
Right, the
I have
energy.
TikTok and I'm putting,
Hmm.
videos up on the TikTok, I just started that. It's about really, when you understand, it changes your life. When you just say, because
Yeah,
the physical earth can really hurt us and do things. And when you just stop and say, oh my God, there's so much more. Wait a second. I need to just stop. I need to check in. I need to just say, listen, I need help. I'm stuck. Then all of a sudden you'll just start
yeah.
saying, oh my God, it feels so different. It's when we get behind, right, that it gets really difficult. And both of you, and like Doreen, I always knew when I first met you that you were, were very in tune, that you were connected. This was something
Hmm.
that you really believed in. I didn't have to try to get you.
Right.
You were already there, but it's like you still were like, I want to know, I mean,
Hmm.
that you're receiving this, like it mattered to you. I mean, it
Yeah,
mattered to you.
it did
And
because I told you I had some bad experiences where they said I had um,
oh,
curses on me and stuff, and I was starting to believe it.
it's terrible. It's
I know.
terrible. I actually
It
had
is
someone say that
terrible.
to me once, and it was actually at a fair this past summer. I wanted to see if that was really true. I was actually with my husband, and there was a lady there, and she said that to me. If I brought 3 people back to her in the next hour, she could remove the family curse that kept me stuck from moving forward.
Oh
And
my God.
he just stood there and he listened, and I just thought, oh my God, people really do say this.
I
It's
Yeah,
know, right?
they do.
I didn't tell her about me or having the gift. You're just curious and you think this is what they do to
Mm.
people, and how, if you're in a weakened state, how that can really affect someone. If you're somebody
Yeah,
Yeah,
weakened
yeah,
state and having, I mean, your heart is hurting and somebody tells you that, that's horrible.
yeah.
I see. I think that's
I
evil. I
know.
think
I
those are things.
know. I got told three times.
And I remember when you said that, and I just laugh, and it's just like, it
Yeah,
doesn't exist. I'm sorry, it doesn't. I mean, you're removed,
I
whatever
know.
you think they said, but I just think you both have, I mean, I think it's really important to see family members come in together, how we're all so connected, but still have our own journey, but how we still come back, right? You come back, and
Mm.
how you both are so connected, even with an age difference. That sometimes now, like how you guys are, you're like inseparable. You're so close to each other,
Yeah.
and how
And
your
it's
dad,
funny because we were 5 years apart.
yeah,
So as I was in junior high, she was leaving for college.
yeah,
So
that's
we
it.
didn't, I mean, as we got older, we've gotten closer and now we pretty much do everything
yeah.
together.
And then,
So,
then I moved away for when I
yeah.
was married. I moved away for a lot of years.
I have to
I
tell you,
would, I did go to one person that probably wasn't legit that gave me some truthful information. One time I was in New Orleans with my husband,
mhm,
ex-husband, and in Andrew Jackson Square they have a bunch of tarot readers and fortune tellers and everything. So he insisted, like, let's get our fortune taken, whatever, palm reader or whatever. And he's standing there right behind me, and the woman was like,
You're an
you are in a
asshole.
terrible, dangerous, toxic relationship. And I'm like, no shit, lady. And he was standing right there, and I'm like, oh my Lord, at least
Yeah.
that. She probably could tell by his energy, by our energy,
Yeah.
together anyway. That's the only truthful person before you, Renee.
But your
Well,
father,
I definitely have learned to your 3 second rule about the first, when you have a message coming through, like, don't go that way, or like, I'll think about somebody and then they'll call. And you said that the first 3 seconds is your spirit guides or messengers giving you the message. And after that, our brain takes over. And I've been trying to really, really pay attention to that instead of saying, oh, that was my gut or whatever. I've been
Me
trying to
too.
pay attention to, when I am getting the signs, because I ask for them all the time. Because of course, you've taught me that if I want help, I have to ask for it. And that was my
you
one thing I never did.
I mean, but you think about that. If we want help with anything, we have to ask, right? If we want
Hmm.
someone, we can't just
But I
assume.
don't ask for help with
No,
anybody.
it's so important though. The divine always steps in with, I mean, main things, but in your daily life, they're not going to intervene because we have free will and this is why we're here. But you can wake
Hmm.
up during the day and say, my guardian angels and my spirit guides and the highest light of truth and compassion, I'm asking you to help me with this today. Like I feel like, or
Yeah,
I'm just having a hard day. I feel off. I don't feel right. Or help me with this job or help me with this family member and just say, please guide me and show me, let me find peace. And
yeah,
they do, right? And you would ask a friend or somebody else for help. I don't know why we don't go to them. They know us, they know everything. They were given to
right,
us. We knew them before we came here. They stay with us our entire life. You never need an appointment. They're open 24 hours a day and they just
right.
and they're
And
there just
it's true. I mean, because I've told her, I'm like, you got to ask, you got to do it. And I'm coaching her. It's kind of funny, you
but I think
know,
it's good.
but I've always believed in it. I
Yes,
always have known you could
yes,
communicate.
that there's more.
We, and I would tell my dad this when he was alive, and he'd say, whatever, voodoo, hogwash, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, you know what? When you get to the other side, you make sure that you communicate with me because I know you can, and I'm going to wait for it. But he would always give me a hard time about it. But I knew that you could.
This is so funny. Before we finish up, I have to ask you this. Somebody kept showing me this. Is there anything with one of you with either wanting to go into a haunted house, is either planning on going into or liking going into haunted houses, or somebody that likes to, what I mean, go into like old houses or haunted houses?
I don't know. Must my daughter.
Well, I enjoy going to haunted
I
houses and
hate
stuff.
it.
She is hysterically funny to take into a haunted place
But is there
because
anything about it's almost like I see one of those EVP machines that someone like kids around is like, I'm gonna get one of those machines and see if I can hear someone. You know how like you just want to record it? Like you want to
Oh,
if you can record it, but there's somebody I feel like in your family, maybe it's your daughter that likes, what I mean, has
well, my daughter works at Universal, and right
Universal.
now they're doing Halloween Horror Nights. So
this
where
is
they
why I'm
do
seeing
so
this.
they do that. So she works in the one in Hollywood now, but she went to school in Florida. So when she was down there a few years ago, we
We
went,
went.
the two of us and my son and my daughter, and I'm
I've
surprised I didn't get thrown out because I was so hysterical. I
I've
just
never
knocked
seen her.
everybody down.
I've
I was
never
like,
seen her son laugh so hard.
I,
I
I,
hate that
I
stuff.
won't do that stuff. I won't go into the. But
I
The,
hate it.
so
the
funny. I
girls
kept
from
writing down EVP machine and haunted houses, and I felt like it
That's
was like
funny.
your daughter that either there's something I don't know if she's recording something or like doing something with this, but that's fascinating. It's like, do
Yeah,
you understand? But I always just say to ask for protection, ask for what I mean, the light to protect you. If you, when you go into the real ones, not the fake ones, but when
right.
you go into ones that are like really like a Santa Psalms or J or people like really were killed in there,
Yeah.
always ask
I
for
wouldn't
protection.
go into any of those.
So I don't know.
I will. I have to be careful what I say, but you know what? I can't say this. It's a work related thing, but there's something going on that is where we're going to be working with a property that has a very
High level of this kind of stuff.
and terrible past.
This is very interesting.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
don't say it. I can't say
No,
it.
I
don't
know.
say it. I'm just telling
No,
you.
I know.
The reason this is coming up is this is very interesting because I feel like there's something about somebody going
That
in with
that might be what it
doing
is,
something
Colleen.
with this, and they're saying to ask for protection. Like before you go in, ask Archangel Michael. Like you know what I mean. I don't care if you take holy water and put it on yourself, but
The other day I was
I feel like
volunteered and pulled into a meeting to say, can you help with this certain thing? And we all sat there at the table and I was like, I will help with that. But that second one,
Mm-mm.
Okay,
No.
because they're telling me there's a high level of needing to be protected for people that are going to
Oh,
go
yeah,
through this.
Well,
I'm
you
sure.
need to
No,
ask for protection
I mean,
then.
I will tell you what it is when we're not.
yeah, no, don't
Yeah,
tell me now, but I'm just
No,
telling
I
you,
can't.
it's
yeah.
very real. They're saying that there is a
Okay.
very negative energy in this, and I don't deal
Oh,
with it
yeah.
at all. But the people,
I've been there before, and I was there
that's
one
interesting.
time. I was there a couple
Hmm.
years ago planning an event, and I happened to be there by myself on the property waiting for people.
Hmm.
And so I decided I was going to drive around because I was looking at different parking areas. And I drove down this road, and I swear to God, the car stopped itself. I just slammed on the brakes, and I was like, yep, nope.
So this is
I'm not going down there. And then I went back to where I was waiting for the people, and I got in my car and I just like drove out a little bit waiting for them. I'm like, no, I can't stay
That's
here
so
by
funny. See,
myself.
that's what you're picking up
But
on
but
because,
but when
yeah,
the people when we actually had the thing I was planning there
hmm
and there were hundreds of people, the energy was good. I think I well, again, I'll tell you about it another time when
no,
I
no,
can.
no. I don't want to. I don't want to get into here. I'm just telling you, there is just they're saying to trust your instincts on this. Like you're being told by your dad not to go in there alone, not to be there. So this is it's really amazing how stuff like this comes in from,
yeah,
Yeah.
and
that
it was
is.
just so. And even I just started writing it in, and it's so dark that this is something they want to discuss. Like this is something that's been on your heart, something that's in your energy, something you've been asked to do, and they're just
Hmm.
saying
Yeah.
to you, that's a big no.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
anybody else that goes in there, they need to be protected. Like there's just an energy in here that's very heavy. Is there anything
Yeah.
with a rose or something with a rose or rose bushes?
That came up the other day. Well,
I don't
yeah,
know.
but it came up with Roz in them. There's roses here.
Oh my
But
God.
you said something to me about Roz, Roz and Louie. You said that she was saying something about a rose. They
Mm-hmm.
were show because when we came to see you, said Louie was showing you his wallet
Mm-hmm.
and telling me to look for his wallet and something about the number 3 in a rose. And when I went to move them out, I didn't find his wallet. I did tell his granddaughter about it, but I don't know what the rose is.
Well, I just showed you yellow roses. That was my grandmother's favorite flower.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And do you
That's why I
understand
buy
now
yellow.
that can be her just referencing? Do you understand that you have
yeah.
roses there for her?
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's kind of connected me. Like there was just, what I mean? She's just like,
Even Renee looked shocked when I brought that bouquet around. Renee was like,
I did because it just amazing because it's like I see it and then you
I
bring it
know.
right there and it's their way
Yeah,
of saying we're right here. I'm going to tell you something like I'm right here
right.
and thank
Yeah,
you. So listen,
yeah,
I want to thank both of you for coming on and doing this. This is to me like this has been fun and it's been interesting and it's just great to hear, I mean, family members and messages. And I just keep
yeah,
saying your miracle, and your stories are what's going to help somebody else. It's these
yeah,
everyday journeys of people and your connection that helps other people because so many people are right there and want to believe and then they're so afraid. And when they listen to people like you talk about how
right.
it's so normal in your everyday life, right? Yeah, my dad came through and showed me this, and I know my
Hmm.
dad did this, and this is really what this is about: is to know they're helping us.
Yep.
It's not about all the other stuff, right? For me, it's about connecting,
Mm-mm.
and I just think both of you are amazing.
Well, and it's not, and not to fear death. I mean, it's not scary. It's
No,
not, you know, it's a process, and we all are going,
I wish
it's
I
going to
could just
happen. But
right?
you've definitely taught me not to fear things like that. That there's life out there on the other side, and
It
that you're
is.
going to see your family, and
And they
that,
love us so very much. And I want to thank you both so much, and I look forward to seeing you both again.
okay.
thanks,
All right.
Renee.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Renee.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye
Take
care.
care.
bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.